ladies, I am making a video because I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to explain everything to you before the girls arrive. A lot of the girls have parents that want to talk to me, and sometimes they arrive early, so just to make things easier, I thought I would make a video, send it to you, and then hopefully, if you have any questions, you can ask me when you get there. I didn't really prepare for this video, I just have a list of notes. So I'm going to try to go off of these notes, but I might make a mistake and have to go back and forth. So this is not a super awesome video, but I appreciate you watching it. So tonight you're going to start off in the kitchen at 6:30, just getting familiar with things, getting familiar with your stations. You each have your own station with girls in it. Cindy, your station is going to be on the island in the kitchen next to the windows. Sue, your station is actually in the sanctuary next to the door because I can't fit 12 girls into the kitchen, so I had to put some girls out in the sanctuary. You'll see your table, it's really obvious. Christina, you are on that section where after church where we serve fellowship food, people walk up with the little dividey door things. That's where your section is, and I'm going to be next to the ovens. Okay, so you can get familiar with your area, the kitchen, the schedule. Put the schedule up in the kitchen so you guys can read it and kind of make note of it. Basically everything I'm telling you on here, it's the broken down version on the schedule. At 6:35, you can head towards Julie's room. That's where the girls will start. And I'll have announcements for the girls, and then I'm going to explain the recipe to them. And then I'm going to introduce you guys because they're going to get divided up into groups. You're each responsible for 2 to 3 girls. So they're going to know who you are and who they're going to go to before they even leave for the kitchen. That way it's not chaos when we get to the kitchen. When I dismiss the girls, which my goal is 6:40-ish, 6:45, have them wash their hands first. You can have them wash their hands in the bathroom or the kitchen. I don't care, however you want to do it, but they need to wash their hands first. You can bring the girls to your station, and I'm going to have Mary Ellen, you're going to melt all the butter for all the girls. I put out 12 little cups, and there'll be 12 sticks of butter. Just put a stick in a cup with a paper towel on top and melt it for 30 seconds, okay? So that will be your job, and then once you are done with the butter, you can go around and help the other groups wherever they need help. I'm positive there's gonna be somebody who's going to need help. With 12 girls, it can get really challenging. You guys, for the bananas, have the girls mash the bananas with a fork to start off with, but each group should have a pastry blender. So you can give one girl a pastry blender, and then when she's done, pass it on to the next girl. But so we don't have girls just sitting there doing nothing, have them start off mashing their bananas with a fork, okay? When they are done, they're supposed to have a cup of bananas. I'm going to set out a Tupperware in the kitchen, and I'll show you when you get there because I gotta look at the space, for them to put their leftover bananas, because I will use those bananas to make more bread later. So after they mash up their 4 bananas, have them fill, when they go to measure out a cup, get rid of the remaining amount in this container and I'll keep it. Chocolate chips and walnuts are optional. Mary Ellen is bringing nuts. I brought chocolate chips. I don't have any gluten-free chocolate chips. Cindy, you have a gluten-free girl. She's gonna need to use special flour. So I have 2 flours here. I believe it's the red one is the all-purpose. If there's not enough, you can have her use this one too. This is baking flour. I'm sure it'll be okay. So here's the flour for the girl who is gluten-free. Her name is Hannah Predmore, or Hannah P. They do not have to put nuts or chocolate chips in their recipe. After they're done cooking, if you could have the girls clean up their stations, that would be great. However, there might not be enough time. I would like to have the girls done cooking by 7:15 and moving on to the next activity. However, I know that's probably really unlikely, but we're gonna go for it. But I don't want to stress the girls out. So if it doesn't happen, it's totally fine. I want the girls to feel loved, confident in their skills, feeling like they're doing a good job. That's number one priority. Time is, 2, 3, somewhere down, lower. But we do have a lot to do tonight. So if we could get them done by 7:15, that's great. That means they might not get to help with the cleanup at that point. That's okay. But if they do, have them wash up their dishes in their station. They're pretty good about doing that, but they might not finish. Before you put their pan in the oven, make sure each girl is very familiar with their pan. That way they know that when their bread comes out, that's theirs. What I'm gonna do is, and then you guys can do this too, I'm gonna have index cards in there. You can write down where each girl's loaf is in the oven. That way when we pull them out, we know whose bread goes to which girl, okay? So I will have index cards so you can write out whose is placed in what spot. And there's gonna be labels, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. Since I will be teaching the girls their Bible lesson, I will give you guys my index card because you guys will be responsible for pulling my girls' bread out. They will not have time to pull out the bread with the way the schedule is tonight, so you guys will be responsible for that, and I'll tell you more about that later. Okay, so at 7:15, let's pretend everything's going great. The girls get a break. They're gonna go to Julie's room where we'll have snacks and music and whatever, food. I'm gonna need your help at that point because Skylar has a birthday and we're gonna celebrate it. But it's a surprise, so don't tell her that we're gonna celebrate her birthday, okay? So we have brownies and we have ice cream. I'm gonna need help with you guys scooping the ice cream. We have cookies and cream, so I'll need someone to scoop out the cookies and cream. We also have vanilla for those who want vanilla. And then for the gluten-free girl, she's gluten-free dairy, we have passion fruit sherbet. So you could scoop that out. Christina and I will get out the fruit and the brownies and the chips and the drinks. I just need your guys' help with the ice cream. So once we're done celebrating the birthday and the girls have their break, this all has to happen in like 15 minutes. We're gonna go play a game. So the girls are gonna play a game that goes with the lesson. You guys can feel free to take a breather, rest, because you might be tired. I know I'm always exhausted after I'm done cooking with the girls. Or if you want to help tidy up the kitchen, I will totally take your help on that. Or you can join us in the game, or you can wipe down the table in Julie's room from the ice cream. Whatever you see fit. If you need a breather, take a break. If you want to hang out with us and play the game too, it's kind of fun, feel free. Whatever you want to do, you have time to do that. At 8 o'clock, I'm going to start the lesson in the sanctuary. It's video clips from a movie. The author is really big on this movie because she relates to it a lot. So if you want to watch that, you can, or, whatever. That's what's going to happen at 8. And the Bible lesson is going to go for 40 minutes. So around 8:15, I need you guys to check on the bread to see if it's done. I've made this bread a few times, and it usually is somewhere between 65 to 75 minutes of baking. If a girl's using a smaller pan, it might be a little bit longer. Cindy, I'm going to leave you in charge of the bread and making sure it's done. So if the bread is not cooking fast enough, you can turn the ovens up, do whatever you think will help to get that bread out and at least cooled for 5 to 10 minutes before their parents come at 8:45. Hopefully this will be able to happen, but it might not, and I'll explain what we'll do if that's the case. So once the bread is done cooking, you can place them on the cooling racks. We have to keep track of which girl's bread is, or whose bread goes to who. I have little labels. If you want to write their name on the label and place it in front of the cooling rack and then place their bread behind it, you can do that. Whatever you guys see fit or what is easiest for you. After they've been cooling for 10 minutes, go ahead and dump out the, well, not really dump out, but take out the bread and set it on the cooling rack if there's time. There might not be time. They might just have to take it in their pans, and then if they borrow any, return it, or we'll just dump those breads out for the ones who borrowed a pan from us, because they're not really good about returning the pan. So yeah. Okay, so let's pretend we get to dump them out, the bread out, and place it on the cooling rack. They'll get to sit there for 10 minutes. Yay. Okay, when it's time to take the bread home, what we'll do is we'll wrap it in foil, and then I have brown paper bags, and we can put the bread in the brown paper bag. We'll have to label the bag with their name on it. I have Sharpies for that, so we can do that as well. If the bread is too hot and they have to keep it in their tins or their loaf pans, I have material. We can put foil around it and then wrap it in material so they can take it home without burning themselves. At 8:45, Cindy, Sue, and Julie, you're more than welcome to go home. Christina, you can lead cleanup in Julie's room. You know how to do it. You're a professional at that. You'll be the boss with that. Your helpers will be Olivia and Lindsay. And then I will make sure all the girls go home with the right person, lock up the church, and then I will start cleaning up as well. I think that is the highlights of the most important bits of information. Evelyn's telling me, Mama, it's time to go. So if you have any questions, write them down and ask me when you get there, and I'll try to do a quick review over everything at 6:15 if possible. All right, you guys, thank you so much for helping me do this. I'm really, really appreciative of you, because I have no idea how this would happen tonight without you. Thank you.